Okay, so let's understand this first. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about access control. Okay, access control means people who are internal users and people who have active access to your Salesforce account. What is the level of access they have? Controlling that. All right. Level of access will mean who can see what part of the data or what part of a certain database and what all functionalities are available to them. All right. So who can do what, who can see what, who can create records, who can delete records. If I can see records, can I see all the records, or I can just see a few records? That's something which needs to be controlled. Do you think that if there is a company, think about it, there's a company and there are 100 Salesforce users in the company. Okay, let's say you're working for a company, there are 100 Salesforce users in the company, and out of this 100 users, and you have this Salesforce account which has a lot of options available. All right, do you think all 100 should have access to everything?
No.
Ideally, no, right? Everyone should not have access to everything. Not about Salesforce, anywhere in the world. You cannot give all access to everyone. So the same way,
Yeah.
you just think about a situation when you are in office. Though you are an employee, do you have access to all the areas in the office? No. There may be certain areas which are restricted and you're not allowed to go in there, right? Then you just talk about the security guard who sits just at the door. He again does not even have the access to the workstations. You have the access to workstation, but you do not have access to server room. Someone who has access to the server room, he might not have access to a certain server, right? So this access control needs to be implemented everywhere. So that office was an example. The same way in Salesforce we have so many things. We have seen that there are database tables which are there. There are different tabs. There are applications, right? There is a sales application that is there. There's a marketing app which is there. There can be other apps that you have created. So when we are talking about so many things, and when there are so many things which are a part of your Salesforce org, it becomes very important for you to make sure that you are controlling the access of your users. All right. So there are two types of things where you need to control the access for. One is the data. Okay, and the other is anything which is not data. Okay, so which can be components and functionalities. So there are two things where the access need to be controlled. One, it needs to be controlled for the data, all right? And secondly, it needs to be controlled for the components and functionality. Component and functionality will include things like apps, objects, tabs, fields. Fine. So the entire infrastructure. And data means the actual data which is inside the system. Name of the account, website of the account, phone number of the account, email address of a contact, social security number of a contact. Okay, so that is data. And then rest of the things include components and functionality. Functionality will mean whether you can run report or not, whether you can create a dashboard or not, whether you can create an object or not. That comes under functionalities. Okay, so you have to control the access to data, and you also have to control the access to components and functionalities. All right, so there are two different ways of controlling these two things. I hope this part is clear, the difference between what is data and what is the other component, right? So a table is not data.
Yes.
A table is just a container, so that falls under component. But a record inside the table is data. Got it? So that's how it is. So that's the concept. Now we
So,
will,
Jeet, fields are data then? Fields,
you
because
tell me.
field, when we create field and we put the information inside those fields, so are those fields are data?
You tell me, what do you think? Field is a data or is it a component?
It should be data. Other than that, I cannot visualize any kind of data because we created objects are are tables, and in fields we put all the data about those objects. So that's the
So that
data
way
I.
you put data in object also. What is data? A company's data is the information that it has. Field is not information. Is field an information? No. It's just a column which holds information. Is that not correct? Field is just a column which holds information. Is that the information? No. CD is not data. The
But the
data which
value,
goes inside
sorry,
CD is data, right? Same way, field is just a container.
But values inside the fields are data or not?
Yes. So you want to rephrase your question and ask once again? Are
Yeah.
you talking
So
about values or fields or what exactly? Can you rephrase and ask?
yeah, I wanted to ask that you said field is a component, but those components has data inside it. Am I
Mhm.
correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to make sure that.
So component is different and data is different. Correct?
Okay,
So
okay,
field holds the data, but it is not data. Hope that
okay,
makes sense. If you
okay,
have a photo frame and you have a photo, your photo frame is a different identity and the photo inside that frame is different identity, right? Same way, field is different from the data. So
mm-hmm.
we need to understand that difference.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
So that same thing is applicable for object also. So field is no different from an object. Field is just one part of the object. So same way, object is different from the data. Okay. All right. Any other doubts on this? I want you to understand this concept very, very clear. Difference between what is data and what is a component. The moment you understand this,
um,
the rest of the story will become easier for you. Yep.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know what was discussed yesterday, but if relationships, do they come under fields or something else?
Relationship is a field. Yes.
Okay.
A type of field. So that also becomes a component because that's a field, right? Data is name of the company, website of the company. So I'm not talking name of the company field. I'm talking about actual name of a company. IBM, this is data. Wipro, this is data. American Express, this is data. Got it? So you do not definitely don't want people to see. You might want to have control uh, on people who can see which all accounts or which all contacts. That's the data.
Jeet, does it basically mean any value that we feed to the feed to the field, any field can be considered as a data, right?
Do you understand what's a record?
Yeah.
Record is data. Okay.
Okay.
All the record entries which you enter are data. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Anything which we are entering, not. Why are we talking about feeding value into field? We put values inside an object. It's not a field.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put value, you put value as a record. Can you just put a website of an account and not put anything else? No, right? Create it
Okay.
as a full account record. So
Okay.
record is data. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
If we understand this difference, now the entire stuff becomes very, very easy from here. So there are two things that we have, like the way you have your computer hardware and the software. Okay, so same way here we have the components and the data inside the component. So what we need to do is, when we are talking about access control, we have to do the access control on the components. That's one part, and then we have to do the access control on the data also. Okay, so we will talk about the data part a little later. We'll start with the components then. Okay, so here you will deal with some basic access. Access to apps, tabs, objects, fields. Okay, access to apps, tabs, objects and fields. So for any user, we need to go and define which all apps he can access, which all tabs he can access, which objects, which fields. Alright, so if I were working in the company, I might want uh, to control the access of apps within the users. Let's say Manjit is a part of sales team and I want him only to see the sales app. Right now you see the drop down, there are 5-6 apps, right? But if I want that, okay, my user who is working in sales team only should see sales app, I can do that in Salesforce. Okay, so if I define the access control in that way, Manjit will only get to see sales app and he will not have any other app listed there. Now say Varun is a part of marketing team, I want him to only see the marketing app. Same way, if Ajinkya is a part of the finance team and there is a finance app, let's say, I do not know if it's there right now, but if there is a finance app which you have created, a custom app, I just want Ajinkya to see that custom app, finance, no other app, right? So this access to apps, the same way, access to tabs, what all tabs you want the user to see, same way, what all objects you want a user to see, and same way, what all fields you want a user to see. All right, so these are the basic component access control which you need to do initially. Now, the point is that it becomes difficult for us because we can have a lot of users. Okay. Now, it becomes difficult for us to actually go and define it for each user. All right. So, if I have user 1, user 2, user 3, and then user 4, and then user 5. Okay, I cannot go and define access control for each user because then that will become very difficult stuff for me. So rather what we do is we create profiles for the users, and then in the profile we provide the access and profile is assigned to the user. The point here is that one thing we understand, that everyone will not need same level of access. That's correct. Second point is, everyone does not need a unique set of access also. There can be people who need similar access. Like if Manjit and Vipula, both of them are a part of the sales team, then both of them need access to the same set of permissions. Okay, they need to have same set of permissions. Now if they both need to have same set of permission, I don't need to actually go and create a separate set of permission for Manjit and separate one for Vipula. So Salesforce allows us profile option. What is a profile? It's just a collection of permissions. Okay. So Salesforce allows you to create a profile which is just collection of permissions. Okay. You can create a profile or you can work with an existing profile which will have the collection of permissions. Take that permission, set of permissions, and assign it to the user, whichever user you want to assign it to. Right. So the first concept that we were going to talk here is of profile. Profile is where permissions are put, and this collection of permission is then assigned to the users, whoever requires that particular profile. All right. So in this case, you can, for example, I was just talking about sales team and the marketing team. So if I have 5 people in the sales team, I don't have to go and individually give the access to each one of them. I can just create one marketing profile and assign that same marketing profile to all 5 of them. All right, so that makes my life a lot more easier. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the stuff. That's the simple logic. So profile is the first concept, which is nothing but collection of permissions. You define the collection of permissions and then you assign it to the end users, whoever are your users or who need that profile. Same way you can create one more profile for the marketing users and give it to all the marketing users. So let's say after a few days there is one more person who joins the marketing team. I don't have to actually sit and do the work right from the beginning. All that I need to do is I just need to assign that profile to the user. That's it. Here, that's the concept. Okay. So for this profile, now we have a few standard profiles which are available and we can create custom profiles as well. So Salesforce by default gives you a few standard profiles which you can use, and you can create your own profiles also if required. Okay, if you feel that you are not able to manage with the standard profiles, just go ahead and create your own custom profile. Correct? So that's the thing here. Give me a minute. Manjit, can you share the password with me?
Yeah. Right. You got it, Jeet?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So where do we find the profiles? I told you there are a few standard profiles and you can create your own. Where do you see the profiles? You can go to setup. Under manage users, you have profiles. Okay. So there is a list of standard profiles which are already available within your Salesforce, and then there's an option of creating your own profiles, custom profiles is what it's called. So just go to the standard profiles, and from the standard profiles you can see there are so many profiles which are already available, right? The one that you have currently is the system admin profile. Click on this profile and you will see a complete list of all the permissions that this profile has. All right. So this profile is basically controlling permission for components and functionalities, right? It is controlling the access for the components and the functionalities that a user will have. So if you click on edit, first thing that you will see is the app settings, which all apps are visible to this profile. Okay. So these are all the apps which are visible. If you want this profile users not to see a few apps, you can just turn them off. So only sales and marketing is what I want to allow, let's say. So now people who have been assigned this profile, system admin profile, it can be any profile, they will only be able to see the apps which have been made visible to them. Got it? So in the profile, you can control app visibility, whether the apps will be visible to them or not. Okay. Second is the tab visibility. If you scroll down a little further, you will find the tab settings. All the tabs are listed and you can define the tab settings. Tab settings means whether the tab is visible, not visible, hidden. Okay. So let's say account tab, it's on for this profile. If you don't want these profile users to see the tab, you can actually make it hidden tab. So this tab will be hidden from them or made invisible. So again, what we are doing, we are actually controlling the visibility. So you definitely don't want everyone to see all the tabs. If you don't want some profile user to see some of the tabs, you can just go and make them hidden from the profile. All right. Objects. Okay. For objects, what you have to do, you just have to click on cancel and scroll down towards the end. Yes. Here is your standard object permission and here is the custom object permission. Okay. Now because object is referring to the database table, here the permission needs to be defined in terms of whether the person will see. Tab and app are just UI components, user interface. So there you just define whether that tab is visible or not, or uh, the app is visible or not, right? But when we are talking about object permission, object is the database table. All right. So you need to define the permission in terms of what level of access that person will get on that particular object. Got it? So here you define whether it's gonna be a read, write, delete, edit. What level of permission you want to give to the profile, right? A person with a read permission on account will only get to see the accounts, right? The person with a write permission will be able to, it's not right, it's create. Yeah, a person with a create permission will get to create the records also. Okay, so that's it. Now because it's a system admin profile, you see all the permissions are given: read, edit, create, delete for all the objects, all the standard as well as all the custom objects. Got it? Read, create, edit, delete. Clear? So for app and tab permissions, only defining visible or not is okay. For object permission, you have to also define what level of permission that person has in the object. Alright. Then field. Though you see, if you do not make up an object visible to someone, so that person will not be able to see the entire object records. That's one thing. Let's say there is a user. I can have two requirements here. If I actually do not want her to see some part of the data, I can say should not see accounts. This can be one requirement, or let's say should not see contact. Okay, so this is one requirement. If I have this kind of a requirement, then what I need to do, I just need to go to her profile, object permissions, and remove read permission as well. So if you, right, I can have one more kind of a requirement.
I have a
Alekhya,
question, Jeet.
sorry,
So, I have a question. If
just
we
can you
remove
just
the
hold
read,
on for a second?
yeah, sure.
I'll give you time to ask your question because
Okay.
let's finish the concept and then. Okay. The other kind of requirement can be when Alekhya, I say that she should not, sorry, she should see contacts but not email. So now, where is the control that I'm trying to put? I want the user to see a table, but one field is confidential and I do not want to allow the permission on that particular field. This is called field level security. So there is a specific term for it. This is called field level security. So in this case, what you have to do, you have to allow the read permission on the contact object, okay, and then you have to go and control the field level security and control the permission on the field. That's something which I will show you. Yeah, someone was asking a question.
So, if we remove the read permission, then automatically create, delete, and edit permission is also gone, or because he cannot.
Yes,
Okay.
someone who cannot see, he cannot create or edit and delete, leave it, because I cannot see. He also will not have an option to create. Okay, so read is the
Okay.
minimum permission.
Jeet, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I mean, no, initially when you were describing about the uh, the tab, the tab visibility, object visibility, and all, like, you were doing it in the system administrator profile, right?
Hmm. We are
Okay,
still in
so
system admin profile.
okay. So you mean to say if there are some five or three administrators in a company, in a large company,
Mm-hmm.
then the same, I mean, probably this profile can be
Can be
assigned
given
to
to
the three.
everyone. Right.
Okay,
Just give
okay,
me
all
one
right.
second. My battery is running low. So let me
Okay,
connect.
all right.
Hello. Yes. Please.
Yeah. So it means like we should initially identify set of group of people who should have equal access, and then probably define the profile for each group.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And
So now
another
if you
question I
have
have
one more
is,
system administrator in your company, let's say right now you just have one system administrator, right? You have defined set of permission for him. Your company feels that okay, workload has increased and we need to hire one more system administrator. So when you create one more user, you don't have to define everything for him. All that you have to do is connect him with that profile. That's it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more question, Jeet. I mean, when we define a profile, how do we come to a state where we identify what all kind of permission needs to be given to each group of people who falls under uh, each group.
That's something which ideally that's something which is very very functional and that's something very very subjective. Correct. So the company
It
will decide that, let's say if I am running a company, okay, and I have a sales team. Now, whether I want my sales team to only see the data, I can have one kind of a scenario. Let's say uh, I have an administrator who puts the data into the system. I want my sales guys only to see the data. I don't want them to be able to edit. Fine. So that's my requirement. You are running a company, you want your sales guy to be able to edit. So that's your requirement, right? So that is something which is defined by the company, what level of permission they want to give. Or maybe if I want my sales team to see my campaigns also. But you might be running a business, and there your campaigns can be highly confidential, and you don't want your sales team to see that, or any other team to see that. So that specific requirement what needs to be put in the profile is depending on the company or their business process or the way the company
Yeah,
thinks.
yeah, I understand that, but
Hmm.
I was just wondering, like, see, what can be done in a Salesforce as an admin or a developer
Hmm.
is like more known to a person who is an really admin or a developer in Salesforce, right? So would
Hmm.
there be a collaborative session where like the client and the I mean as in the company department heads or uh, representatives along with the admin discuss and see, okay, this can be done or this cannot be done, and such way they come up with a profile depending upon the requirement.
Would you want to phrase your question once again? Sorry, could not understand what
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Okay, see, I'm just trying to, if I am a admin in a big organization, or
Okay,
whatever the size of the organization is,
fine.
I know
Let's say
what
there are
can be
100 people
done.
in the company and you are administrator. Okay.
Administrator, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe let us take Salesforce is something new to the organization. CRM, that they have recently
Right.
accepted,
Right.
and I'm joining as an admin. And for them, no, they might not be knowing like now
What
how
is
a
possible and
profile,
what is not.
what is not. So would there be a collaborative session where we discuss, okay, each department, no, this set of profile should be given such and such kind of
Okay.
access?
Yeah.
Would that
Okay.
happen
So
in real time?
yeah. So ideally, yes, but that's something which happens start of the implementation. When once you when your company is starting to use Salesforce. Okay. So
Okay.
what sort of permission should be given? What sort of profile should be created? That's something which happens in the start. Okay. And
Okay.
if you guys become a developer, you might need to discuss these things with the client, that what all set of users they will have and what sort of profile, and initially we set it up for them, right? After that,
Okay.
usually you do not have any such sessions on an ongoing basis. Yeah, whenever you actually come across a requirement, let's say management says that okay, this set of people should not see this data or they should see this sort of data, then you can actually check the feasibility of it and reply back that okay, this is possible or not. So that's how it is,
Okay. Okay. All right.
right?
Yeah. Thank you, Jeet.
Any other questions on this before I go into the field level security and show you where we can control the access to the field? We're good. Okay, so field level security, we have understood the concept, right? Field level security is when someone has access to the object, but I want to restrict access to a certain field. This field level security concept does not come into picture till the time you do not give him the access to the certain object, right? So someone who does not even have the access to see data in the object, for him field level security doesn't matter. Anyhow, he does not see anything in that object, or he doesn't see the object itself. So forget about the fields. It comes into picture only when someone has access to that object. So there can be certain fields, practically speaking, if you think about certain fields, like if there is a social security number that you are storing, if credit card information you are storing, right? If you're storing information of your customer's credit card details, social security number, some cases email ID, some cases mobile number. You don't want the customer's mobile number to be visible to everyone, right? Only people who need access, they should be able to see it. Otherwise, everyone should not get to see the mobile number of the customer. That kind of fields can be protected under field level security. Where is this field level security? The same profile page I am on. Scroll down a little, you will see field level security. Okay. And in field level security, which field you want to control the access for? Right now, I was talking about contact email ID. So go to contact, view. Okay. Here, all the fields of the contact object are listed. Click on edit and control which field you don't want to make visible. Email. Email currently is visible, turn off the visibility. Now, users of this profile will not get to see this email field. Got it? Please tell me if that's clear. If you have any question or doubt around this, right?
Yeah, Jeet, can you show it once again? Uh,
So on the same profile page, uh,
uh-huh.
on the same profile page, system admin profile, whichever profile you are actually controlling it for, go to that profile page, scroll down a little,
Mhm.
and you will see field
Okay.
level security. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're not finding it, you can do a control F to search for field level security. You will get it. And for
Hmm.
which object we are doing here, we want to control the email of the contact. This field I want to control. So go to the
Yeah.
contact. Contact is the object. Go to view, and you will see that all the fields have been listed here. All right. Important thing, while you create a field, you must have seen there is one option, and I have told you that click on visible always. That's this
Yeah.
visible.
Yeah.
Got it?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that visible, if you see, it shows you a list of profiles. So there it asks you whether you want to make that field visible to all the profiles or some specific profiles. Now you
Okay.
can relate to that. So if you just want to allow that field to some of the profiles and not to all the profiles, then you should select which all profiles should see that field. All right. So that
Okay.
option is available right at the time of creating the field, and that's available here also. Here, please tell me
Yeah.
if you have a doubt here.
And like, how come we are able to edit the
We are not
standard
editing
settings?
the field. What we are doing is we are just editing the visibility of that. Field is
Visibility.
intact.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
visibility, is it going to be visible or not? That's what we are controlling. We are not making any
Yeah.
changes on that. Okay. So if I say, don't make it visible, the field is going to be there. It's not that the field is
Hmm.
going somewhere else. It's there, just that
Okay.
it's made hidden
Yeah, for certain profiles.
for certain profiles. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we do with the profile. Now we have the standard profiles, and if you want, you can actually go and create a custom profile. Now if you feel that you're not able to manage with the standard profiles, then you can just go and create a new profile from here, and you can clone the uh, new profile from an existing profile. Let's say, now we have a system administrator. Okay, system administrator has all sort of permissions. I have a new system administrator who has joined in. Okay, let's take this scenario. There's a new person who has joined in, and he's going to become an administrator. I have a full-time administrator, and this guy is new. I am scared
Okay.
that he can delete some data by mistake. I want him to have all the permissions of
Hmm.
the system administrator, but not delete permission. Okay, and I call him system admin junior. Let's say, junior system admin. Let's say this is what. So the permissions are going to be different, right? System administrator has all the permission. This junior system admin should have all the permission, just that he should not be able to delete any data. So what I need to do, I can create one more profile for it. So which one will be the best profile to clone this one? Functionality wise, it's going to be the functionality of the system
System admin.
administrator. So from which profile should I clone it? From system
System
administrator,
administrator.
right? Because the profiles are matching to this. Sorry, permissions are matching to the system admin profile. Just go and say save. Now your junior system admin profile has been created by cloning. Okay. So at present it has all the same permissions. Okay. You can click on edit and scroll down. Here it is. So I don't want this junior system admin to be able to delete anything. So all that I have to do is I just need to go and remove the delete option from it. Do you see this?
Yeah.
That's it.
So, Jeet, we need to clone. Is it necessary to clone it with the existing profile because
Yes,
it was showing a mandatory field there?
yes, it is necessary.
Okay.
Because you see how much information is there in a profile. So if
Mm-hmm.
it gives you all the blank fields and you have to fill in, it will take you, maybe 2 hours to fill in. So what
Yeah.
it says is you get a basic structure from any of the profile, anything which is close to what you exactly need, and then
Okay.
you can do it, go and make changes. So this way.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeet, one more question.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead.
Yeah, suppose like junior system. Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. May I speak?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, suppose there are two junior system admins,
Hmm.
uh, and there's the main system administrator.
Hmm.
So, like, we don't want them to delete it. Like, we don't want them to like to have the permission of delete. So we'll drag both the junior system admin in one profile, right?
Yes. So this should be given to both the junior admins, and this should be given to the main admin in
Okay.
this profile. So that's how it
So
is.
like yes, so like if because even they are system admin, even though they are junior, but still they're system admin.
Yeah.
So even they must be having a permission, right, to edit or to create something like that later. Is it like
See,
that?
so their permission is coming from where? Their permission is coming from this profile, right? So whatever you have defined in this
Yeah.
profile, see, admin is just a name. You getting it?
Okay.
This is just a name. The permission is coming from here. So whatever permission is allowed here, that's the only permission that they will have. Nothing else. Even for a system
That means like
administrator. So, how powerful you want your system administrator to be, that depends on you. Sometimes the
okay,
company
okay.
might want the system administrator also to not delete the data. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so so Salesforce is, uh, you know, it, Salesforce gives you an option to control the permissions of the system administrator also.
Okay, okay. So like the junior system administrators can't do like can't go above the main system administrator. Like they
No,
can't edit the profile and nothing like that.
see, for this junior system admin, this is a custom profile that we have created, right? So this custom profile will
Yeah.
have the permissions defined, and whatever is defined as a for the custom in the custom profile, that is what will be
Mhm.
available to the junior system admin. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Clear? Everyone is
Yeah.
okay on this?
Yes.
Any other questions or doubts? Okay, so this was one side of the story, that where I am controlling who will see which object, which field, data within which object, and all that stuff. All right. Now coming to the other part of the story. Other part of the story is where we will talk about access to data. Okay, access to data means if I have 100 records, or let's say 10,000 records. Okay, 10,000 contacts. Okay, and let's say four of you are part of the sales team. Now the next concern that I have is you all are part of the sales team. Okay, let's understand it this way. You all are the part of sales team, and I have allowed you all to see contacts. But I don't want you to see all 10,000 contacts. You should see contacts, but not all 10,000 of them. So this 10,000 records and other contacts, I want to have a control over this, which all contacts you will see. Correct? So that's the next level of access, where you do not want everyone to see all the data. Think about it. If there is a company, we just talk about a big company. Maybe let's talk about a very big multinational company. They might have let's say a million contacts. Do you think that company will be, okay to expose all 1 million contacts to everyone? And they have, let's say, some 5,000 users across the globe. Is it a nice thing for the company to expose all those 1 million? Because this data is very important, very important thing for them. Is it a good idea for that company to expose the entire 1 million data to all the users across the globe? No, right?
No.
No.
So that's where this data level access comes into the picture. Okay, so here is this concept of data sharing. So in Salesforce, every record has an owner. Okay, you have every record has an owner. You must have seen that. When you create an account, you will go see that there is an account owner. If you create a contact, there is a contact owner. So what you can do is you have the option of keeping your data public or make it private, visible only to record owner. Fine. So if you are okay with everyone in the organization who has access to contacts, if you're okay with the concept that everyone who can see contacts should see all the contacts, you keep your data public. Okay, that's again your choice. You decide if your companies, all the people in the company will get to see all the data, keep it public. If you decide that no, some people should see the data and for others it should be private, then you should go ahead and make it private. Private, if you make it private, then what will happen? Only the owner of that record will see it. If you keep it public, everyone in the organization will see all the data. If you make it private, then only the owner of the record will see it. So let me take the same example. Let's say we have an organization ABC and we have let's say 100,000 contacts. Okay. Out of this, we have some 30,000 contacts from India, and Manjit is the owner. Manjit basically is the sales rep for India, and he is the owner of these 30,000 contacts. Okay. Then let's say we have from Canada, we have 20,000 contacts, and Ajinkya is owner. Okay. From US, I have another 25,000 contacts, and Varun is the owner. Okay. And just 25,000 I have from UK. And utilize the owners. Alright. Okay. So now what happens is, if you are okay with everyone seeing all the data, you can, if you keep contact data public, everyone will see all 100,000 records. Okay. So if you keep it public, Manjit will get to see UK data, he will get to see Canada's data, he will get to see Varun's data, Vipla's data, everything. Okay, so no um, control over the data. Everyone sees everything. If we make it, if we make contact data private, we also have the option of setting it as private. Making it private will mean that Manjit will only see these 30,000. Ajinkya will only get to see these 20,000 which he owns. Varun will see only these 25,000 contacts, and Vipula will only see this. Right? So depending on your requirement, how big your organization is, what kind of a data spread is there, do you really need to control this? you will decide whether you want to keep your data public or private. Okay, so what kind of a business requirement you have? Uh, do you have a kind of a business process where people need to see each other's data, or you just have a process where people can work in isolation? Depending on these, you decide whether the data will be kept public or made private, right? And where do we set it? And this public or private is set for each object. For every object, by default, data for all objects, standard and custom, by default the access is public. If you want to make it private for any object, you'll have to go and change it. And where do you do it? You just need to go to setup, security controls, sharing settings. Okay. Setup, you change the password or something. All right, you see this? So setup, security control, sharing settings. In the sharing settings, if you come and click on edit, you will see that you have the option of making your objects public or private. I told you by default everything is public. If you want to make something private, you can actually go and do it. So making it private will mean only the record owner will get to see that record. Others in the organization will not get to see it. Clear with the sharing setting concept for the data? Please let me know if you have any question. So that's how the this part is controlled. In the part one, using profile, you are basically defining a generic
Yeah,
rule
Jeet.
whether uh, profile user should get to see the contacts or not, or whether the profile user should get to see the accounts or not. Here, what we are doing is we are here controlling if even if someone is allowed to see contacts, will he get to see all the contacts or only the contacts that he owns? Got it? Yeah.
Yeah. Jeet, and suppose I want to uh, I want to see only US contacts, like one's 25K contacts,
Yeah.
and not any others.
Hmm.
So, and
Yeah,
I
we have
don't
an
want any
option.
other one to see
Yeah,
that.
that's a good question. So you're saying that it should not be completely public and it should not be fully private also. Some part of the data
Yeah,
you want to see. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have an option of defining that. That's something which we will discuss next to this. That can be done. For now, that
Okay,
can be done. Tomorrow, while we are talking, we will discuss about that. That comes under another concept which is called the sharing rule. We'll talk about that.
okay, okay. Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
So are we clear on this? So today we've just talked about whether how to make it public or private. Okay.
Yeah, Jeet, regarding the data sharing, are we giving the defining the permission to the whole object as such?
No.
That is what we
First
usually.
thing, Salesforce will check whether you have access to the database object or not. Fine.
Okay.
Because object is the bigger picture, right? The whole entire thing. Now, once someone has entry to the object, after that only, Salesforce checks whether you have access to a record or not.
Okay, okay,
because record is a smaller part of the big object, right? So someone who is
true.
not allowed to enter the object definitely has no access to the city.
Okay, okay.
Fine, it's like, if I do not have an access to,
So
if I do not have a permission to enter United States, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot be, talking about having a permission in the New York City or not.
Yeah, I got that concept, but when you were explaining through the platform, I think we were giving permissions to the taking away permissions from the object, right? Not for the records.
So to the object, but if someone is not allowed to enter the object, then he will definitely
Okay.
not see the records. That's what I was trying to explain. You did not understand that? Can we, okay, just understand this. Can you define a permission for someone to enter, let's say, a certain city in India, let's say talk about Bangalore, who does not
Mm-hmm.
have permission to enter India,
No.
right? So that's record comes secondary. So this sharing setting is the secondary thing. First of all, who does not have access to see contacts, for him, it does not matter at all. Got it?
Okay, okay.
So, in other words, I can say that if we define that if I taken away the access from that particular component, then
There is no
automatically
question
that
of, yeah.
data is already all automatically gone, right?
It's not gone. That person will not see that, right? For that person,
Yeah.
it's there is
That
no question.
okay.
Fine.
Okay.
So it's like the person who does not even have the access to that object. For him, there is no question of what data will he see in that object. He doesn't have the access to the object,
Yeah.
right? Correct. So logically, only people who have access to the object, this concept is applicable for them. The only people who will see contacts. After that, it depends what all contacts you will see. That's the secondary part. All right, fine. So there are a couple of other concepts around this, the access control and all, which we will discuss about tomorrow, which we will discuss tomorrow, right? So let's just